I love playing basketball because I get to be social with my friends and have lots of fun.
It's really exciting to play. It's my favourite sport.
I love shooting and scoring.
I love watching the WNBL and it inspires me to play in the league one day.
I barrack for the Boomers.
It's my dream to be in the WNBL.
I love basketball.
Good for three, it's a dagger. Buries that one. Crucial basket at the other end. She's been impressive. Nothing but nylon on the shot with the reverse goes. Big play, massive play.
There are ample, spicy rivalries and matchups in the WNBL, but few, if any, top the Melbourne Derby. The Southside Flyers have had the ascendancy over the Melbourne Boomers in recent years, but with a star-studded roster, the Boomers are every chance to go 1-0 up in the traditional battle of the Michelle Timms Cup. Prestigious piece of silverware named in the honour of one of Australian basketball's most decorated players. It's the Southside Flyers and the Melbourne Boomers who made a great choice to join us on KO Sports tonight. Ben Waterworth with you alongside a dual Olympic medalist and one of the sharpest basketball minds in Australia, Jenny Screen. Jenny, nice to be beside you for what is a really big night. Southside and Melbourne, the Melbourne Derby in Melbourne this year.
It is, and it's very exciting. They're at their new venue, Melbourne Boomers, and it's been 20 months since these girls have had a home game. So no doubt they'll be wanting to put their best foot forward, considering their first round they had a loss against Bendigo in Bendigo.
Yeah, no doubt about that. The Melbourne Boomers looking to try and go 1-1 so far in their season. Southside Flyers are 1-0. But firstly, let's have a look at how these two teams will line up tonight. And specifically, let's start with the Melbourne Boomers in particular. And you look at the Melbourne Boomers starting five, and it is world-class on paper. Two imports, Tiffany Mitchell and Lindsay Allen. So good to have Lindsay back in the WNBL. And three Olympians as well. Imagine Kayla George and Ezzy Magbegor. And the bench is really a coming-of-age bench as well. But this is a star-studded Boomers outfit screening.
It is. They really have their top three, their go-to three. We've spoken about them. They're Opals players. I thought George in the round one, she was absolutely spectacular. Led from the front, 16 points, 19 rebounds and 3 assists. I want to see more, though, from Magbegor and Madgen tonight. They need them if they're any chance to beat this Southside Flyers team tonight. But Tiffany Mitchell, that girl is a supreme athlete. I was blown away by her stature, and any young girl watching, you should want to have a physique like her. I really am looking forward to seeing her progress and develop in this year.
Keep your eye on the number 25 tonight. Let's have a look at the Southside Flyers. We talked about Melbourne Boomers starting five. How about this, the starting five for the Southside Flyers? 4 of those 5 named in the recent Olympic, or the Opals World Cup squad. Abby Bishop wasn't named in that squad, but arguably should be in there as well, the number 10. This is a strong Southside side that bats really deep.
They do bat deep, and whilst Abby Bishop isn't in the squad at the moment, she is an Opal. She's 2012. She went to London, got a bronze medal there, but they are deep. You've got Kate Gaze coming off the bench. We know how great a shooter she is. Amy Rocci, she does a great job, backing up her sister-in-law now, Maddie, and then also Christy Wallace. I've got a soft spot for this girl, and if she can get through the entirety of the season without getting injured, she is going to be a push and raising her hand high for Sandy Brondello in the World Cup squad for next year.
So many stars on the floor tonight for this Melbourne Derby. The only person more pumped than Jenny for the Melbourne Derby tonight is Megan Huswaite, who's courtside in Parkville. Megan, you've got a great night for it.
I'm very excited, guys. It is Derby Day. I'm in black and white, the traditional Derby colours, but we are back at Parkville, the scene of the Boomers' sole championship in 2010-11. They'll be hoping the same success can come for them from this home court in season 22.
Thanks, Megan. We'll be looking forward to hearing from you right throughout the night. Our referees tonight, Jason Kelly, Elliot Green, and a special shout-out to Bianca Vernon in the middle of your screen there. This is a great story. 15 years officiating junior championships, state league, recently the NBL one. Bianca tonight makes her WNBL debut. She started refereeing as a 17-year-old, and now she gets her first WNBL senior gig. She's going to throw the ball up for the tip at the start. That's a great story and a great example for all aspiring referees out there, Jim.
Oh, absolutely. It actually gives me goosebumps that she's plied her trade. She's worked really hard. She's gone through the junior pathway system as a referee and now is being gifted through, obviously, opportunity, but most definitely hard work to actually do the first jump ball, and I think she'll be a stayer in this league for many years to come.
Alongside Jason Kelly tonight, has been refereeing for many years in the WNBL. There's you look at the Melbourne Boomers. Guy Malloy, 9th and final year in charge of the Melbourne Boomers, and the Southside Flyers as well. The reigning champions got themselves off to a really good start against Bendigo last Wednesday, scoring 22 points in every quarter against Bendigo to really have a strong start to this game. Who's your tip, Jenny, to take out the Melbourne Derby, Leg 1 of 2021-22?
Oh, look, I would hope it's going to be the Boomers. It's their first home game for a long time, as we've spoken about, and they're coming off a loss in Bendigo. But I just want it to be a physical, hard-fought contest. You know, a lot of these girls are putting their hand up for positions in the Opal squad or the World Cup team for next year, so they're going to want to showcase what they're capable of.
Underway in Parkville tonight, Melbourne Derby, the first one of 3 in season 2021-22 of the WNBL. The Boomers with first possession, and Tiffany Mitchell almost made it a perfect one at that. Abby Bishop brings down the rebound, first stop for Southside Flyers. Long rivalry between these two proud clubs with long, proud history. O'Hay with 10 to shoot. Tries to work her way to Bishop. Guarded by Magbegor. Almost lost it. But Bishop's so good on the fadeaway. Off target this time. Played twice in the hub last season, Southside and Melbourne. Split one apiece. Southside lost one of those games. It was one of only 2 games they lost last year, Southside. Mitchell, Magbegor, much improved from deep. Can't get it to go, and Beck Cole with a strong defensive rebound. One of the most improved players in Australian basketball, Beck Cole, tough shot. Kayla George called for the first foul of the game.
Rebecca Cole doing Rebecca Cole things, and that's going right. She loves that. Everyone on the scout in Australia and probably around the world would know that Rebecca loves to go right, but she's made a name for herself doing that. Unfortunate foul there for Kayla George. I thought she did a great job to be in a nice upright position, but the referee saw it differently. She now has to adjust the way she plays to ensure that she doesn't get that second foul. She doesn't want to be sitting on the bench for the Boomers.
Great shooter from the stripe, Beck Cole, 85% from last year in particular, and she's 100% tonight. Getting the first points of the game for the Southside Flyers. Magbegor, look at the pace from Ezzy. Perfect start for her.
And that's what I want to see. I mean, she does have the athletic advantage against the older veteran in Abby Bishop, but she's the type of player that she can be so versatile and bring it down the floor like a point guard and go rim to rim.
Cole from deep, misfires. George almost lost control from the defensive rebound, but this is a great matchup tonight. Madison Rochi, that is, v Lindsay Allen, and Allen gets the first points for her. So great to have Lindsay Allen back in the WNBL. Missed last year due to COVID-enforced border restrictions, but US International being such an important part of this Melbourne Boomers outfit for the past 3 to 4 years. Blitzarves in the post, fading away, that's all oxygen. And good defense from the Boomers early stages of this one. Madgen, Allen, Madgen works her way inside. Allen with 10 to shoot now. Magbegor screaming for it in the post. Gets it. Can she make the most of it? Yes!
Oh, Ben, I was pointing at the screen there going, there is a mismatch. You have a 5'5" on a 6'4". Give it in, and finally they recognise that, and that was a nice little lob pass from Madgen into Ezzy down low.
Magbegor with 4 points early stages. Guarding Bishop here. Now called there by Jason Kelly. Magbegor.
Have a look at this on the replay. Maddie Rochi was mashed up there. Abby had to come over and fill the void there, but the athleticism, great recognition from Tess Madgen to find her teammate.
Bishop, O'Hay, Cole, guarded by Mitchell. Tries to work her way inside. That's tough. Off target. Couldn't quite follow up with the rebound. That is off Beck Cole's hands. So Boomers baseline ball. Spoke with Beck Cole during the week in the lead up to this game, and she's really looking forward to 2022 in particular, 3x3 with the Australian side at the Commonwealth Games. She's really excited about. Turnover that time though by the Boomers. Maddie Rochi pulls up from the stripe. short. Tiffany Mitchell grabbed the rebound, bumped off it by Cole, who picked it up and said thanks very much.
And they're the turnovers you can't have for the Boomers. They did that on against Bendigo. There was just some unorthodox turnovers that just weren't necessary. And against a team like the Southside Flyers, they're going to make you pay. Look, ball possession and valuing the rock is going to be really important.
Madgen, tough shot. That drops, though, and Melbourne with an early 4-point buffer. Lindsay Allen called for the foul there as Maddie Rocci tried to work her way inside. Here's Madgen. Good defence from Beck Cole, but Madgen too good on that occasion. Maddie Rocci, what a handy pickup to say the least for the Southside Flyers after a couple of championships at the Caps and their MVP last year, and she works her way in and gets her scoring underway.
She's really coming of age. I was really disappointed that she didn't actually go away to the Asia Cup recently with the Opals. I think that would have been a really good, learning curve for her and an opportunity to assert her authority and potentially a position. That point guard spot is really up for grabs, in my opinion, with the Opals for next year, as we see a nice, strong penetration there from the Boomers. But that point guard position for the Opals for the next generation is really, really up for grabs, as I just said, and Rocci is most definitely one that potentially could be snatching one of those positions.
Sarah Blitzar's called for the foul as Tiffany Mitchell was putting up. Now, Tiffany Mitchell is a very exciting import for the Melbourne Boomers, but particularly from the stripe. So from her 6-year WNBA career, she goes at 90% from the free throw line, and she holds the record at the Indiana FIBA for the most consecutive free throws made. So she is the definition of clutch.
And isn't it nice that we have a caliber of league that can attract players like that? And she's not the only one in the league this year. It's nice that we can have some imports back. We don't want to detract from the talent that we have here, but it only makes our league better, Ben, in terms of being able to get someone like her. And I did a little sneaky. I stalked her on Instagram recently just to see what she was like, and I saw her work out, and I was like, man, this girl is a machine.
So is Abby Bishop. That was a tough shot. That drops. Southside get the response. Cracking start to this derby. George Mitchell with 15 to shoot here. Gets the screen from George and then draws the foul from Beck Cole, who's a tad flabbergasted by the call.
You know what I'm liking about this game at the moment, or thus far in the first 5 minutes, is that there's been a focus of inside, outside, or, direct penetration, getting 2 feet in the paint. It hasn't just been, we're going to rely on the three-point line, which is really nice to see. Both teams have some caliber inside presence, and the more we use that, the more it's only going to open up and space out the guards for opportunity as the game goes on.
So she scored 12 points, Tiffany Mitchell, in her WNBL debut against Bendigo Spirit on Wednesday night. Not a great outing overall, though, for the Boomers against the Spirit. We're off to a solid start here. Maddie Rocci lobbing it in and turning it over. Well, not quite. It's off Magbegel's hands. So 11 to shoot still for the Flyers from the sideline here. Magbegel v Bishop. Cracking jewel that is in the post. The ball might find its way there. Cole. Get around. It does get its way into Bishop, who fades away and knocks it down.
That was something out of nothing, because you had 5 white jerseys on all one side of the quarter court there. And I'm thinking, where are we going with this? Becky got all of the left-hand side as we see a silly kind of foul there from Blitzart. This wasn't necessary, but have a look here. The spacing was left a little bit to be desired, but credit where credit's due to Abby Bishop. Found something out of nothing, and then you see Sarah Blitzart just reaching in and giving Lindsay Allen what she wants, which is another possession for the Boomers.
Let's go down courtside to Megan Huswaite.
First rotation of the night for the Southside Flyers. Amy Rocci into the game for Sarah Blitzart.
Amy Rocci knee Clydesdale. Mitchell look away for Kayla George for 3. And the Melbourne Boomers finally hit a 3 after going 1 of 19 against Bendigo on Wednesday night. Who else but the informed Kayla George to help get hopefully a confidence booster for them. Here is Amy Rocci inside for O'Hay. Kicking it out. Bishop wide open for 3. Strong start by Abby Bishop. She's got 7 points. She could add to her tally here. Pulls up. Amy Rochi just keeps it in, but wasn't a great pass from Bishop. Turnover prevails. Allen, George, sets, shoots. Can't knock it down. Maddie Rochi brings down the rebound. Imagine call for the foul as Maddie Rochi using that quintessential speed to get to the rack. Shoot 2 free throws.
Yeah, we know that that's what South Flyers like to do, is push the ball. That first 8 seconds as we see Kayla George doing Kayla George things and knocking down those long bombs, and then Jenna exactly the same. The captain of the Southside Flyers being able to distribute and find her teammates, and that's a nice long-range deep 3 from Abby Bishop.
Terrific 2020 WNBL campaign by Maddie Rochi, averaging the 16 points per game, ranked 8th in the WNBL, all WNBL's second team, and Canberra Capitals MVP as well. And she's tied the scores here in Parkville. Melbourne Derby, 15 apiece. Great to have your company on KO Sports on a Saturday night. Seeing 2 proud clubs going head-to-head. Mitchell with 8 to shoot. Beautiful.
Well, they're stroking it from deep better than what they did against Bendigo. I mean, the rims are pretty tight in Bendigo as we see them surging down the floor right now with the ball in Magin's hands.
And Davidson underneath couldn't get it to go. She's just tipped into the game, the Kiwi international. Amy Rochi calls for calm, then lobs it in for O'Hay, who cops some contact and will head to the strike.
And that's Kayla George's second foul. But I feel frustrated for Kayla because she actually worked her butt off in those last 2 possessions. She was in deep in the paint for the Boomers. Then she sprinted down the other end of the court, trying to get the rebound and contest it, and then came back down the other way. And fatigue or, you know, a bit of distraction there, picking up her second foul and now heading to the bench with 3 minutes left on the clock.
Janelle O'Hay sitting 7th on the all-time WNBL list for assists, behind the name, some pretty handy names to your screening: Veal, Harrower, Kelly Wilson, Snell, Timms and Mark. Pretty elite company.
It's pretty elite, and you know, Jenna's the only one on this court right now that won the premiership with the Boomers back in 2010, 2011, when Tom Marin was the coach and Michelle Timms was the assistant.
Boomers still holding that advantage here. Magbegor has a foot on the line. 4 to shoot here for Magin, who backs down, foot on the line. Can't back it in off the glass. And Davidson can't keep it alive for a fresh 14. Here's Christy Wallace. Great to see her back out on the WNBL court. Had a luckless run with injury, but she's an exciting player. Tries to free up Abby Bishop. Does free up Bishop, but she can't deliver the 3. Here's Lily Scanlon checking into the game for the first time for the Boomers. Championship winner with the UC Caps a couple of years ago. 10 to shoot. Scanlon guarded here by Amy Rochi. Mitchell been lively early, and O'Hay is called for the foul.
I liked that play. There was a lot of composure and poise, a lot of happenings. You know, we had obviously the staggered action or the double down there that we saw, that allowed Mitchell to come off there, turn the corner and attack Jenna O'Hay, who had to switch out onto her. But nice poise and composure. That's one thing that we know from Guy. He loves to play the half-court game. He's very structured in his offense. Detail matters to him, and it was nice to see them just stick to the plan there in that offensive set.
So it's one thing to be an accurate shooter from the free throw line as well, but for Tiffany Mitchell, I spoke to Boomers assistant Paul Flynn during the week, and not only is she good from the line, but she actually is very good at drawing contact and getting herself to the line.
Oh, yeah. We saw that in the round 1 against Bendigo. I mean, look at the frame on her. She's strong, she's athletic, she's tough, and I think we'll see her lead the statistics in fouls drawn this season. And I want to see that from her this game and beyond.
She's 6 of 6 from the stripe. She's got a game-high 9 points, Tiffany Mitchell. Just over 2 minutes to play in this first quarter. Bishop hands off for Wallace. Deep 2. He's off target. A strong rebound from Kate Gates. Gives the Flyers a fresh 14. Amy Rochi works her way inside. Fading away. Call for the travel. It's Amy Rochi. Nice to see the Southside Flyers keeping the sister-in-law kind of vibe this year. No Sarah and Steph Blitzars this year, but
I wonder what training's like, you know, when they go ahead, because it's 2 point guards really, or Amy can slot into the two, as can and Maddie, but I wonder if it gets a little bit feisty with one another.
Sure it does. They're very competitive players, but speaking of competitive, Tiffany Mitchell is giving Boomers fans a real taste of what she's capable of. She's got 11. The Boomers have 22 and they lead by 5. Rachel Jarry on the court. Missed round 1 due to a back niggle, but she's back out there tonight. Wallace goes to work. And jump ball called.
Oh.
The defense by Tiffany Mitchell, according to the referee, and here is Mitchell. Wallace straight up in the cylinder.
That was tough. I mean, defense was pretty good there, just offense was better in that case scenario, but nice little out-of-bound play here. A nice little structure, some good screens from Southside to get an easy bucket would be good, because they've dried up their scoring in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Bishop straight away, in and out though. Can't get that one to go, and Izzy Wright brings down the defensive rebounds. Now Ezzy Magbegor here, go to work. Rachel Jarry for company in her face. Final minute of this first quarter. Tiffany Mitchell's been the player of the game so far. Lobs it in, almost alley-oop style for Magbegor. Foul is called and Ezzy's heading to the line. That was exciting.
It was exciting. You know what would make it even better? If one day Ezzy could just jump up and dunk that. Like, just throw that ball hard into the rim. And I think that she's capable of. I mean, Christy came in way too hard and that was a little bit dangerous, but I would love to see Ezzy just get up and throw it down one day. That would be so exciting.
Terrific article from Roy Ward in The Age during the week on Ezzy Magbegor as well, and I suppose there's a lot of external expectation on Ezzy now to step up and be the face of the Opals, particularly in the wake of Liz Cambage not being part of the Opals setup, certainly in the immediate future. But great quote from Sandy Brondello. I want Ezzy just to be Ezzy, then take a little more ownership and a little more responsibility. Only a little.
Yeah, and I think that's fair and reasonable. Like, yes, she's a caliber talent, and we want to see her. That was nice little hands in and help from the split line from Ezzy, creating this 2-on-1 advantage here with the 2 imports from the Boomers in Allen and Mitchell. But that's what we want to see from Ezzy. Yep. It can't be just on and off and, yes, I'm going to play today and no, I'll switch off now, especially if Boomers are going to be a contention in guys last year. With the Boomers, she needs to be a double-double player every single game.
Tiffany Mitchell has played a wonderful quarter. Can't quite cap it off, but Izzy Wright keeps it alive. 10 seconds left in the quarter. Davidson banks it in off the glass. The Boomers lead by 10. Bishop lobs it down. Amy Roch is very good in this situation. Off target on this occasion, but the Melbourne Boomers have made one heck of a statement in the first quarter. The reigning champs down by 10. The Boomers 27, the Flyers 17 in the Melbourne Derby. Take a short break and come back with some first quarter analysis with the Boomers leading 27-17.
Who said we're not strong enough, not fast enough? Wrong. We're crossover queens, scoring buckets, taking names and hitting no-look threes. We fight for every ball. And do we dunk? Hell yeah. When we roll onto the court with nothing to lose and everything to prove, you're in for a show. She got style, she got balls, she got belief, she got game.
Terrific start by the Melbourne Boomers in this game, and they've been led superbly by their big-name import, Tiffany Mitchell. The Boomers have 27 points. Mitchell has 11 of them. Jenny Screen, she's been great from the free throw line in particular, but you've mentioned her athleticism. That has been on display in this first quarter.
Yeah, it definitely has. She only had 12 points against Bendigo in round 1, and she's going to surpass that tonight. But it's nice to see her being on the front foot and attacking. I love Melbourne Boomers at the end of that, maybe 3 or 4 minutes of that quarter. They just slowed down Southside and put them into a half-court structure, and we know that they don't like that. They like to get out and run. So credit to Guy and his purple Boomer girls because they had a great first quarter compared to their game just a couple of days ago.
If you're Cheryl Chambers, the reigning champs, had a really good start last week against Bendigo. What are you saying there at quarter time?
I think they need to get a bit more inside, outside. They're playing very high above the foul line. There's a lot of, handoff, horns action, screening action happening above the foul line. There's no real direct penetration, and if they're penetrating, they're not penetrating into space. I think they've got to get some better ball movement and then just get some better interior feeds. Jenna was doing it. She was posting up, getting that inside-outside action. We know Abby is good from deep, but I'd love to see it down low and battling out with Ezzy in the block as well.
See if the Flyers make any adjustments coming out of the quarter time break. The Flyers scored at least 22 points in every quarter against the Spirit last Saturday. And they will no doubt be looking to try and up the ante, no doubt, in this second quarter. As Lindsay Allen finds the lane and extends the lead to 12. Lovely left-hand finish.
And she's a gamer. I love Lindsay's games. I loved her when she was here 2 years ago in the league, and she was a pivotal part for the Boomers. I think she's going to take her a few games to find her feet again. It always is when you're coming into the league, when you haven't been here for a while, but she's going to be a pivotal factor for these girls.
Blitzarves loses control, gets it back. Cole has 3 to shoot, kicks it out. Bishop, Maddie Rocci. There's a shot clock violation, though. And the Southside Flyers have been stunned here in this first quarter, in this first half, rather.
She just put on the Jets there, a little bit of change of pace and then that extra step, but that was also helped out by Ezzy, who had a nice little screening action there for her, which are allowed Maddie just be able to be on behind and have to catch up.
Cheryl Chambers just looking on there as we wait for a restart here. Tiffany Mitchell just, she's struggling in the corner, being attended to by Boomers staff and looks like Southside Flyers staff as well.
I didn't see what happened. I'd be intrigued to see the replay on that last possession. Was it when it was with Beck Cole in the low block? I'm not sure. But, hopefully for the Boomers and most importantly for Tiffany herself, we hope that it's not too big of a concern and that we see her return to the floor.
Meantime, Tess Madgen checks back in. Just a plug here for the FIBA Women's World Cup in 2022 as well. September 2022, the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup returning to Australian shores for the first time in 27 years. 12 teams, 144 of the world's best players, 38 games across 10 days. It will deliver a lot, this Basketball World Cup. So sign up for first access to tickets at womensworldcup.basketball in September 2022. Here's Magbegor from the restart, fading away. She is so good. What a player Ezzy Magbegor is. She's got 7 points, and the Boomers lead 31-17. Southside yet to score in this second quarter. Ball comes off the leg there of Izzy Wright.
And Melbourne, starting off, or taking off where they... What am I looking for, Ben? They're continuing where they left off in the first quarter in terms of their intensity on the defensive end and just putting Southside under a little bit of pressure with their physicality. And at the moment, they're leading the way in that front.
Just see the top left-hand corner of your screen, Tiffany Mitchell disappearing into the rooms for further assessment. So we'll keep our eyes on that as Beck Cole gets to work. And the Southside Flyers really needed a basket like that to drop.
Yeah, they did. That was their first bucket in over 5 minutes of basketball.
So the Southside Flyers down by 12. Magbegor lobbing it in for George, who keeps it alive. Allen with 8 to shoot. Tough shot off target. Strong rebound, Izzy Wright. Gives the Boomers a fresh 14 seconds. Madgen. Magbegor, Kayla screening for it in the post. Wright loses control. They've only got 3 seconds here. Goes out of bounds off Wright, and Southside win the ball back.
The intention was right there for the Boomers. Again, Ezzy Magbegor had a mismatch, and she was getting the ball reversal and trying to get a nice little basket cut, but just a little lack of composure there and pressure and a turnover from the Boomers and a missed opportunity.
Bishop being Southside's best player so far offensively, and that is exactly why, getting that basket to go. Timeout is called at the Melbourne Sports Centre Parkville, with Southside getting 2 field goals in a row, 2 much-needed field goals in a row to reduce the score to 31-21 in favour of the Melbourne Boomers. But Guy Malloy would be very impressed with what his side has put down so far.
It's going to be an interesting year for Guy. You know, now that he's put out that he's leaving, and does that create more invested interest for the girls and the team?
So Guy Malloy addressing his side. You mentioned it is interesting year for Guy Malloy. His 9th season, currently the longest serving WNBL senior coach, Guy Malloy, at the moment. I spoke to Paul Flynn, who's just to his left there on screen during the week, and it almost, because this decision was made pre-season, it actually gives Guy a chance to enjoy his final season and really have that extra motivation to push for this elusive championship as well. He's going to New Zealand basketball full-time after the end of the WNBL season. He's been a wonderful servant. But if they play basketball like they have in the first 12 minutes of this game, Jenny Screen, they're going to be right up there.
Yeah, they've been bridesmaids for a very long time. And, you know, there was a few times where you think they were deserved of winning the finals. We know it was heartache for them last year as well in terms of the preliminary final. But, you know, nothing's deserved in life, and they've got to go out there and get that. And, you know, like you said, that the first couple of games right now, they're playing good in this first, 12, 11 minutes of the game. But it's a long season, and they've got to continue to click and find a way, and hopefully they can come through with at least putting themselves in a position to make the finals. As we see Tess Madgen with a nice little finish there and curl cut off their shuffle action, which they do so readily.
4 points for Tess Madgen, 33 for the Boomers. There's Izzy Wright and Maddie Rochi pretty heavily there, is called for the foul. Is an underwatting Spectre. Here is Tess Madgen going to work that Opal setup. Went to Tokyo, been part of the Opal setup for a number of years. Tess Madgen. She's also off the court taken on the role of Boomers Academy manager as well. So she's been the academy coach for a few years, Tess Madgen, but now she's the manager taking on the administrative duties. So a pretty busy summer coming up for Tess Madgen. 10 to shoot here for the Flyers. That's tough from Blitzars. This hasn't been her night so far. Sarah Blitzar's yet to hit the scoreboard. A couple of fouls to her name. Allen pulls up and hits the 2. Lovely finish from Lindsay Allen as we head courtside to Megan Huswaite. Megan. We'll get back to Megan soon. 35-21 lead to the Boomers. 7 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. Timeout called here at the Melbourne Sports Centre Parkville. Tiffany Mitchell, you can see on screen, rejoining her teammates. So great news there for the Boomers. Hopefully she's not too bad and recovered from the blow that she suffered a few minutes ago.
I think it would take a lot to take her out of a game or a season. She seems like a pretty strong-willed type of person, but in that last play phase, which needed the timeout to be called by the Southside Flyers, was the transition there from Lindsay Allen. Any young girl or boy watching, the ability to pull up in transition or pull up off a pick and roll and have a mid-range game, if you can add that to your toolbox as well as getting to the rack and the 3 ball, that makes you so much more versatile. And that's what Lindsay brings to this Boomers lineup, her ability to pull up and go from the horizontal to the vertical very quickly, and also makes it harder for people to defend her.
So a 14-point advantage for the Boomers. 7 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. You can see Tiffany Mitchell back out in the court. With extra tension on the leg there, it looks like, screening.
Yeah, she looks like she's got her right knee taped heavily. She does wear the guard on the left one, but she does look like she's a little bit proppy. But let's see how it all plays out for her.
Bishop, Maddie Rochi, work her way inside, but turnover here as the Southside Flyers try to work their way in. Hasn't been going smoothly for Cheryl Chambers' side.
No, not yet. They're a bit stagnant. I feel like no one's really stepping up and showing some authority, or I'm just going to take the ball under my wing and direct traffic. And We've seen it a little bit from perhaps Beck Cole and Jenna O'Hay. Abby's had her moments, but there's been no connectivity between the 5 yet that have been on the floor.
Kayla George, though, hits another 3, and the Melbourne Boomers are humming in Parkville. Maddie Rocci works her way inside, gets it to go. Much needed basket, but everything coming for the Flyers at the moment is coming through lots of hard work. 3 of 6, the Boomers from deep. Far cry from 1 of 19 the other night. Tiffany Mitchell unloads, can't get it to go. Need a couple of stops in a row now, do the Flyers, but Kayla George says, not in my house, swats it over the line.
Girlfriend. I'm surprised she didn't put the finger up and shake it, but I like this from Maddie. At least she's being assertive and attacking the rim. We saw it in the play before, and that's the way Southside play. We talked about they like to get out and run in transition or off stops, and that's the case there. She's pushing the ball, whether attacking on her own or getting a drag screen and trying to create.
Bishop for 2. Lovely 2 from the corner by Abby Bishop. 38-25, Melbourne Boomers. Abby Bishop almost playing a lone hand. First play into double figures for the Flyers. She's got 11. Allen working her way around Amy Rocci. Goes to work, pulls up for a mid-range 2 and gets the lucky roll.
And there's that mid-range game. You know, you don't always have to get to the rack in order to be successful. And we see some spectacular D also from Lindsay, knowing the scout really well there, reading the right hand of Beck Cole, but on the offensive end as well, there's that pull-up game that we want to see, not only just from Lindsay, but, you know, from every player and women's players. Sandy Brondolo was one of the best in the world. Michelle Timms could do it readily as well. So, but the defense from Lindsay then was just as spectacular.
George, Madgen. George thought about the 3. O'Hay quick to guard her Opal's teammate. Mitchell back on the floor. Goes to work on Sarah Blitzarves. Almost lost control, regains. Magmegor, the mid-range, can't drop. O'Hay really strong, the veteran there, to bring down that defensive rebound. Beck Cole pulls up. Blitzarves, guarded by George, finds a way through and can't get it to go. It's not Sarah Blitzarves' night so far. Melbourne Boomers only scored 58 points against the Spirit the other night. They've already now got 42 halfway through the second quarter. Tess Madgen adds another bucket. She's 3 of 4 from the field so far, Tess Madgen. The Southside Flyers in a big change of momentum here. Foul calls.
It just seems slow, considering the Boomers only played a couple of nights ago, as we see Tess knocking down that nice little short corner jump shot there with the assist from Kayla George as Ezzy gets a nice well-earned rest on the bench. But Southside, it just seems a little bit slow, a little bit stagnant. They're not sharp in their cutting actions on the offensive end. The ball movement's a little bit tiresome. I'd love to see them clean that up a little bit in this last 4 minutes of the second quarter.
See Christy Wallace checking in. Abby Bishop having a seat on the bench. As Cole works her way inside. Great defense from Tiffany Mitchell. No travel call. But Cole gets it back and earns 2 free throw attempts here.
Tough finish there from Beck Cole. I thought the defense was pretty good from Tiffany Mitchell, but Beck playing that 3-on-3 style of game and knowing how to just be able to absorb, you know, physicality from that style of basketball allows her that opportunity to get herself to the foul line, and a very needed potential bucket here for the Southside Flyers.
Didn't pick up a basketball almost for a couple of months, Beck Cole, during the off-season because she just had a knee clean out as well. As they say in the surgery world, just a bit of gardening on the knee. That's how she described it during the week.
I've never heard of that, and I've had quite a few knee surgeries myself. Oh, there we go.
Just a clean out. Paying dividends here for Beck Cole. Had a great first game against Bendigo, 24 points, 66% from the field. She's now got the 8 points here for the Flyers. Mitchell lobbing it out for Madgen. It's Christy Wallace for company, and 6 seconds to shoot, and she knocks it down, Tess Madgen.
Nice job there from the veteran of the Boomers squad. She loves playing for Guy Malloy, we know that, and she flourishes under him. She has lots of respect.
And at the other end, Lindsay Allen again for the mid-range. Can't get it to go, but the long rebound goes her way. Almost could have gone up uncontested in the second shot. Instead, they slow it down. 10 to shoot for Mitchell, who gets away through and reveals it in. Knocks over the camera lady as well. She can do it all, Tiffany Mitchell.
Play of the day right there for me.
Tough from Cole, even tougher from O'Hay at the other end to get the two, but the Southside Flyers find themselves down by 18 points. Inside, George regains control, couldn't get the reverse. Allen thought about the two. Mitchell who hits another three. What an amazing first half she's putting together at US International.
I do not know what they've eaten or what has been said since their game 1 to now, but this is a different lineup that you were seeing from the Melbourne Boomers. Absolutely special basketball.
16 points in the first half for Tiffany Mitchell. She's leading this star-studded Melbourne Boomers starting 5. You can do no wrong. Davidson on the floor here for Melbourne. 2 minutes to play. Allen, Davidson, can't knock it down. Well off target. 21-point differential between these two sides. The reigning champs with a lot to think about. Cole, beautiful bounce pass inside. Blitzar's lost control. Idea was right, though, from Beck Cole. The Melbourne Boomers going at 64% from the field. Jump ball is called. Christy Wallace with some good D there on Mitchell.
Have a look at this for a spectacular move. Crossover inside out. Then on the left-hand side of the bucket, finishes with her right with her hair in her face, and then falls on top of someone out of court and finishes off with a nice deep 3. The girl can play.
Credit to the photographer as well, who just kept on snapping away right until the point of contact. Would have got a terrific shot that'll no doubt be going all out across the WNBL media fraternity. In the meantime, Cheryl Chambers and the Southside Flyers, 1 minute 38 remaining in this second quarter. A bit to think about, a bit to ponder. A 21-point differential. I certainly didn't see this coming, Jenny Screen.
No, and when we spoke about it pre-game, they've got 5 potential Opal players, and 4 of them are in the starting lineup, and the other one of them is an Opal, an Olympian herself, and they've only scored 29 points in almost 20 minutes of basketball. But not only that, that's not the issue. It's that Melbourne Boomers have 50. They're going for a 100-point game here. That's just not good enough. And I know that the Southside Flyers, that they're one of their goals for the season, is they wanted to be a defensive team and lock players up. And right now, that ain't happening both individually and collectively as a team.
Well, the Flyers last year, clearly the #1 offensive team in 2020, averaged the 97 points per game. They scored 100-plus points 8 times in the season. Their only 2 losses were against the Boomers and the Caps, and that was the only time they scored under 80 points for the entire season. Scored 72 on both occasions. At the moment, they'll be struggling to get to 60 points, let alone 80. There's a lot of time left in this game. What can Amy Rocci conjure? She can't quite conjure the 2. The Boomers wanting to try and maintain this 20-plus point lead heading into the half. Madgen works her way inside. Can't get that one to go. Just her second blemish. She's 4 of 6 from the field, Tess Madgen. Rocci, Maddie Rocci, lovely left hand.
She's probably been the shining light for them, especially in the transition phase, the first 8 seconds of the shot clock. She's done that quite a few times now, that quick penetration and finding herself to the rim for some nice easy buckets for the Southside.
8 points to Maddie Rocci. Offensive foul is called.
Well, that's one player you don't want to run into as Penina Davison, as we see Maddie getting on her left hand, which is nice to see. We see more penetration to her right, so good to see that she's has that availability to her to go towards her left, but also drawing the offensive foul there against Penina Davison is Maddie Rocci, and allowing Southside to potentially, you know, close that gap a little bit more with 40 seconds to go in the second.
Running the point here, Maddie Rocci. Her sister-in-law Amy O'Hay, Wallace, Maddie Rocci. 11 to shoot. Again works her way inside and again gets it to go. Terrific solo play there from Maddie Rocci to give the Southside Flyers some momentum just before the main break.
Yeah, Lindsay Allen looking just a little bit slow on her feet there, might need a rest, and that's the big issue with the Boomers as we see this nice little crafty penetration, going through, slicing through three players, did Maddie Rocci. But the Boomers' big issue, Ben, is that they're not deep, or not that they're not deep, but they choose not to use their bench very often. So that'll be interesting to see if in the second quarter, considering they only played 3 or 4 days ago, if that fatigue factor is going to slide in and affect them.
Cheryl Chambers, reigning championship coach, multiple time coach of the year as well. As we look at Ellie Bishop, is certainly a shining light early stages. In that first quarter, her mid-range game was really on song as well.
And it's nice to see her back in the league. It's been a couple of years. We know she's plied a trade in multiple countries from Italy and beyond, and it's nice to see someone of her caliber, an Olympian. She's got 11 points to her name. Her and Rocci have probably been the shining lights for Southside thus far. And it's nice to see her back in the league, and you know, it's a discussion point with her. We're limited in our big options in terms of the Opals and what's next. So it'll be interesting to see how her season progresses and what that means in terms of the Opals.
Maddie Rocci. As the Melbourne Boomers will be trying to get back up over 20 points, that half-time advantage. A couple of really important buckets though from Maddie Rocci. She's got 10 points now, late in this quarter. The Boomers can have the final say. Looks like there's a 1 second differential between game clock and shot clock, so expect Lindsay Allen to really squeeze the lemon here on the time remaining in this quarter. Tiffany Mitchell, this would be fitting. What a wonderful first half Tiffany Mitchell has played. 18 points, the prayer goes up, nowhere near, and how fitting it was that Tiffany Mitchell finished the quarter in fine style. 52-33, the Melbourne Boomers lead the Southside Flyers, and this has been a wonderful start from Melbourne, making a statement against the reigning champions, Jenny Screen.
Hot, hot, hot. Tiffany Mitchell, she is the player thus far. I mean, we're not that far into the season, so we can't get too excited, Ben. But you've got to be excited by what she can bring, considering that there seemed to be a little bit of a niggling knee injury, but an exciting prospect, and yes, a great half from the Boomers.
She's been a wonderful player so far in this game to date. Tiffany Mitchell. As we have a look at some of the first half highlights so far, it's been led superbly by this starting five from the Melbourne Boomers. Started in every sense of the word. 2 imports, 3 Olympians. They've all been contributed really well. All members of this starting five, and really shell-shocked the Southside Flyers screen.
Yeah, they've packed on the points. Their ability to get into the paint and create not only for themselves but also for each other, as we see a nice little kick out there from Mitchell. That happened a little bit in the first quarter for the Southside Flyers, but then they got really stagnant in the second. They went away from what they were good at, which is their ability to push the ball in the pace in the 8 seconds of the first shot clock. But what I liked about the Boomers was their ball movement, their ability see what she'll be able to produce for the rest of the season, and hopefully the Southside Flyers will be able to use her a lot more in the second half as well.
She wasn't named in the Opals squad, the extended squad recently. That was part of the Basketball World Cup. It's an extended squad, and there can be a fair bit of change between now and then. And she's someone that, with a big WNBL season, could push for a spot there, Screeny. Do you think she's got the capabilities to really play a big role for the Opals in a couple of months' time?
Well, we've seen her do it in the past. She did it in 2012, where she was able to make the London Olympic team. She did go away for a long time, didn't really get into, Brendan Joyce's system and missed out on opportunities there. But who knows? It could be a case of she just needs to be seen a little bit more in terms of what she's capable of. We haven't seen her on home soil for a long time. Or perhaps she's actually not interested in playing for the green and gold anymore. And that's okay too. She does have a life outside of basketball, as we all do. So it'll be an interesting one. Regardless of the situation and what happens with her in the Opals, it's just exciting to see someone of her calibre back in the league.
Someone who's won a lot of green and gold over the years as well is Michelle Timms. She's been a champion of Australian basketball. The two teams are playing for a cup named in her honour tonight, and she's courtside alongside Megan Huswaite. Megan.
Interrelations, like the I don't even know what to call it, but players playing for both. So that makes it even more real, the competition and the spitefulness and that sort of thing. So it's definitely very real.
Now, one of the last times you were here was as assistant coach of the Bulleen Boomers. It is the scene of the championship.
Just talking about that, yeah. It's like, well, this is where it all happened. This is where the Boomers won their one and only championship. So I'm excited to be back here, and it brings back a heck of a lot of memories. And yeah, we're hoping the Melbourne Boomers can do it again this year and win one for Guy.
Well, the following year, Jenna O'Hay crossed to Dandenong, and it was Dandenong that beat Bulleen. Could we see an all-Melbourne grand final? The Southside Flyers might have to pick up their game in the second half, but is it on the cards this year?
Oh, I definitely think so. They're both, got fantastic teams. I'm a big rap for Abby Bishop. She's been doing all right, one of the few for Southside at the moment. But look, I think they could. They quite possibly could.
Well, Timsy, great to chat to you. You are a champion of our sport. Wonderful that the clubs honour you in this way. Enjoy the second half.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Will do.
Thanks very much to Megan Huswaite, courtside alongside Michelle Timms. She's always very, very entertaining. Michelle Timms, put a microphone in front of her, but she's a champion of Australian basketball, no doubt about that. Let's have a look specifically at a Southside Flyers player who we've talked about a lot in that first half, Screeny, Beck Cole. And in particular, Michelle Timms just mentioned beforehand about so many players who've played for both teams, both the Boomers and the Flyers throughout their careers. Beck Cole is one of a number of players that have done that. And the improvement, she was a sixth man basically at the Melbourne Boomers, particularly later in her career. She's gone to the Southside Flyers. This is her past 3 seasons at the Flyers with 61 games. The statistical improvement in Beck Cole's game has been phenomenal. Averaging more points, but so much more efficient from the field as well. bringing her teammates into the game with, you know, the 4 assists per game. She's been such a wonderful contributor for the Southside Flyers ever since going across a couple of years ago.
Yeah, she has. We've got to remember she's come of age as a woman. Sometimes it takes a long time for development. We've got to remember she had a lot of injuries with her knee at the Boomers, and sometimes different coaches give you different things and you just fit differently in different programs. That's no disrespect to the Boomers or any other club that she might have played for, but then also she transitioned to 3-on-3, and I think that was the best thing that she could have done for her game, was the ability to go to 3-on-3, learn the physicality of the game, be able to develop her one-on-one skills a little bit more, also her defense, and now you can see how that she's brought that into her 5-on-5 game and is being able to put a hand up for both at the moment in terms of a 3-on-3 style and the 5-on-5.
Yeah, she's a member of the Opal squad, the extended Opal squad, as is Kayla George, who at the moment, you'd have to say, Screening, I spoke to Paul Flynn, assistant coach of the Melbourne Boomers during the week, who said at 32 years of age, Kayla George is probably in the best shape of her career at the moment. She was arguably our best player for the Opals at the Olympic Games in Tokyo recently. She was colossal, as you mentioned, against the Bendigo Spirit during the week. She's had a really strong start here with a couple of 3 balls for the Boomers. At 32, she's still going really strong.
32's young, Ben. I don't know what
Jen.
you're talking about. Chrissy O'Hara played till she was almost 40. You've still got Kelsey Griffin in the league, you know. But what I like about Kayla is that she's become a leader. It's taken a few years. She's had to mature. Sometimes I think she's still 21 in terms of the way she acts, but she knows she has responsibility with the Boomers. Everything, she's almost carrying this team, and she's doing it successfully at the moment, and I want to see her continue that. And I think that's the most important thing for Kayla this season, is her consistency. Give it to me. I will take you on my back. I want to play for the Opals and the World Cup in 2022. Let me show you how I can do that. And we know that most positions are up in terms of the availability for Sandy next year and for the World Cup.
You mentioned the World Cup just then. It's going to be a really exciting tournament in a couple of months' time, really. In fact, this is the World Cup squad for 2022. It's an extended squad as well, so there can be a lot of flexibility. Lots of stars in amongst that. You know, great to see players like Abby Werung involved, who's been on the fringe for quite some time. Zatina Akuzo, who we just saw in the game previously as well. There's a lot of talent there, but a lot of talent could also come in over the coming months.
It's a little bit of changing of guard. I loved watching the Opal squad at the recent Asia Cup. They finished 3rd. They could have probably got into the final, but it was exciting. We didn't see Shyla Heal yet. We really haven't seen her in the green and gold. I want to see that. We need to see that to see what she is capable of on the international stage. She didn't really get that in the WNBA, but there is some young blood that are going to be pushing those older girls for positions for 2022, maybe not 2022, but definitely for Paris in 2024. And I'm excited to see what they can bring, because that enthusiasm that they showed at the Asia Cup recently reinvigorated me and what we potentially have here in this country in terms of women's basketball.
Christy Wallace was part of that squad that was at the Asia Cup as well. She'll start on the bench in this quarter, but she's one of the young brigade coming through. We saw Jade Melbourne's name on that list as well. She's obviously made a huge splash in the WNBL last season as well, and she's going to be so important for the Caps in their 2021-22 campaign. So we're almost set for a start here in this 3rd quarter. The Boomers 52, leading the Southside Flyers 33. They threatened to sort of push their way back into that game late in that 2nd quarter, Screeny. The Flyers, Maddie Rocci really leading the charge there. She has 10 points to her name alongside Abby Bishop. As we get this quarter underway, the Southside Flyers will be hoping for some early stops and then some early buckets. Great to have your company on a Saturday night for the Melbourne Derby, leg 1 of the Michelle Timms Cup in this WNBL season, and the Melbourne Boomers leading 52-33, but Southside can get a really good first look here after forcing an early turnover.
That's what you want coming out of the sheds. It would have been interesting to hear what Cheryl Chambers and assistant coach Belinda Snell had to say. I'm pretty sure it would have been a rocket potentially to their team at halftime. So let's see if they can come out and respond to their coaches.
Here's Mitchell, who had that awesome first half, 18 points. Terrific performance from her. Imagine. Tough. Long 2-ball drops, 21-point differential between the two sides now.
Well, these girls are liking this new stadium at Parkville as their home venue for the next couple of years. No tight rims at all with the way they're shooting. 60% from the field and then 87 from the foul line, and a nice little almost 60% from the three-point line, as Michelle Timms alluded to, shooting it well from deep tonight compared to their 1 of 19 against Bendigo.
11 points now for Tess Madgen as Beck Cole draws the contact, doing what she does best, and will head to the free throw line where she's quite a reliable shooter from the stripe.
And what does she do best, Ben? She goes right.
She goes right.
She goes right. I don't know how many times I see it, and I'm pretty sure on most couching scouts, it would be she goes right. But then I think of Ricky Grace, who made a career out of going left and left up, and no one could stop him. And right now, no one seems to be able to stop Beck Cole doing that exact same thing, but on the opposite side. Almayev
just came just before the shot, so it'll be a baseline ball here for Southside. Maddie Rocci has 6 seconds to work with here. Guarded by Mitchell. Bishop with 1 foot inside, so that's a deep 2, but it's a good 2 from Abby Bishop.
Nice to see the 2 that were, really great contributors in the first half connecting there. Maddie with a nice deep penetration, finding Abby, who loves the pick and pop or the pop to the three-point line for that long shot.
Tiffany Mitchell fading away. She's putting on a clinic.
I think I'm in love. I love the way she plays.
Big tick of approval from Jenny Screen tonight for Tiffany Mitchell as Ezzy Magbegor swats it out of bounds. A lob pass not quite coming off from the Abby Bishop direction there.
But the tick of approval is that she's a two-way player.
Yes, absolutely.
And when you have imports, that's what you expect of your imports. And, they obviously have done their homework, is that of the Melbourne Boomers, but that's what you love to see. You're paying these kids these money, and that's the product that you want to see. And again, another product being Kayla George with a nice little steal.
It's 10 turnovers to 6 in favour of the Southside Flyers. Now the lob inside for Ezzy Magbegor. Back out for Allen. Goes inside, too easy in the end, and gets the 2 to drop.
And for me, that sums up the defence for the Southside Flyers for the majority of this game. It's been lacklustre, closing out poorly, too long, too short or too long, and too many mismatches and rotations or poor rotations leading to easy shots for the Boomers.
Rocci fires for 3 and misses. And the Melbourne Boomers scored 58 points for the entire game against the Bendigo Spirit. They got 58 with 17 and a half minutes still remaining in this game. Mitchell trying to look for Magbegor, didn't come off. 4 to shoot here for Lindsay Allen. Good defense from Beck Cole. Forces the turnover. 2-on-2 up the floor. Blitzer streaming through and is blocked by George. And Kayla G loves it.
Kayla G, I like that, Ben. Nice little floor running, and just, I think those 2 fouls early for Sarah Blitzer. She just hasn't been able to get into the game. She's probably wanting or trying a little bit too hard at times rather than just finding the easy option, and potentially Southside could go at her and isolate her a little bit more to get her feel a little bit more comfortable and contribute a bit more. But again, I feel like that's on replay, that penetration from Maddie. She seems to be able to create for herself, and that's the only thing that's keeping Southside within arm's reach of this game, or maybe a leg, potentially, not an arm.
11 points for Maddie Rocci. Tess Madgen, not good defence in the end, according to the referee, by Beck Cole. Madgen was going up for the shot and the charity stripe here, but here is Maddie Rocci, who just seems to improve with every game that we see her play, no matter what level she's at.
Yeah, I think Lindsay was preparing for a pick and roll there and just open up and gave her the lane, and Maddie said, "Thank you very much, I will take it to the rim." Interesting, no split line D, but really great to see Maddie Rocci getting deep into the paint. That's what we want to see. Now I want to see her do it in the green and gold and what that looks like, because playing in the WNBL against 6'4", 6'3" is nothing in comparison to the likes of the China Twin Towers, who stand at like 6'10", and then think about the Americans and the Serbians and the rest of the girls out there that are all timber.
Great serve for the Melbourne Boomers. Tess Madgen, their 101st game tonight for the Boomers. It's Lily Scanlon. Just lucky she didn't give away a sportsmanlike foul there, reaching in.
And this is the thing I'd love to see, even though Lily got the foul there, I'd love to see Guy get some girls into the game. Give them some opportunity early. You're up by 21 points, if my math serves me correctly. It's not my strong point, people. But this is the opportunity where you can give some of these young girls some court time without the pressure of, feeling like you're going to let go of that lead, especially when you've still got six minutes to go in the third quarter. It's plenty of time.
just for all those playing at home, there's 23 points at the moment.
Oh.
Melbourne Boomers leading.
Oops. I'm looking at the wrong stat sheet. Thank you, WNBL.com, for updating too slow for me and making me look stupid.
Very sharp basketball mind, Jenny Screen. Great to have your company tonight on KO Sports, wherever you're watching. Hope you're enjoying the Melbourne derby. The Boomers leading 60-37. And Maddie Rochi really carrying her team on her back at the moment. But you look at the stat sheet at the moment, 6 individual point scorers for the Boomers, but just the 4 at the moment for the Southside Flyers. That includes Sarah Blitzarves, who's yet to hit the scoreboard. She's 0-5 from the field. It is really a battle between the starting 5s at the moment, and the Boomers going fire against fire. The Boomers just winning out at the moment.
Well, neither team are playing their bench, as we can tell, and no contributions, even though limited minutes, so we can't blame it all on them. For Southside, no points off the bench for them.
Magbeg. Scanlon. He's a bench player who can get involved. Just misses on the layup attempt, but nice little drive inside from Lily Scanlon. Here's Sarah Blitzarves. Tough D, though, from Ezzy Magbegor. Still in play, though. O'Hay pulls the trigger. Can't get it to go. And then Blitzarves gives them a fresh 14 seconds. Rochi for 3. Still can't get it to go. Rachel Jarry can't bring down the defensive rebounds. Here's Mitchell with 20 points. Make it 22. She's making one heck of a WNBL statement tonight. Tiffany Mitchell. The first of many eye-catching games he sends in 2021-22 as Maddie Rochi again gets into the lane and draws some contact.
Well, if there's any positive out of this game, as we see some of the stalwarts and the legend of our games, Gina Henderson there, obviously Michelle Timms. Can I just give a shout out to Timsy, like an idol of our game? She's done so much. She continues to do so much. She gives back. She's got her own Michelle Timms Academy now. She's looking after the 12s and the 14 age group and trying to, you know, instill that Australian identity for women's basketball that we've had so long, and I love her passion for the game. It's second to none and always will be. But if there's a shining light for the Southside Flyers right now, it would be Maddie Rochi, and any other team that's watching is like, how do we contain this girl? Because she's destroying Melbourne Boomers in terms of containment, not only one-on-one, but she's getting past 1, 2, 3 players and finding a way to the rim.
Now, I suppose the great thing about Maddie Rochi's screening, and this would be close to your heart, is that she's really come through the junior system, represented Victoria at the 16s, 18s, the 20s, represented Australia in the 17s and under 19s as well. She's ticked a lot of boxes on her way up, and now she's really becoming a genuine star of the WNBL, part of the extended Opal squad for the World Cup at the moment. She's an exciting player. Allen inside for Davidson, running out of time, but she gets it off just in time for the Boomers.
Yeah, she has been great, and she also played at the 3-on-3 World Championships also in 2016, I think. She actually played with me.
Really?
Yeah, this young little pup. I think she was 18, and I was living in Indonesia at the time, as we see Tess Madgen drawing the charge there finally against Maddie Rochi, someone stepping up to the plate. But yeah, Maddie Rochi was a young girl, 18. I just flew in from Indonesia because it was in the middle of the WNBL season, hadn't touched a ball for over a year, and we played in the World Champs there. So another opportunity for her to wear the green and gold at the 3-on-3. Now we want to see her do it at the senior level as well.
You would have been a star of 3-on-3 medal back in the prime, I reckon, screening.
Oh, mate, it killed my knee, I can tell you that.
Lob pass for O'Hay, gets it to go at the other end. It's a couple of mini buckets there for the Flyers. Quiet night overall, though, for O'Hay. She's got 6 points. Really a lot of the scoring being done by Bishop and Maddie Rochi for Southside. Lindsay Allen inside. Double assist. Not quite. Kayla George there was pretty aggressive on Abby Bishop. And Bishop not happy with the call at all. Pretty frustrated, I think, Kayla George, after missing the attempts. Here's a look on replay.
Two veterans, they went to the Australian Institute of Sport together. You know, they've been best friends for a long time, and clearly Abby isn't happy with that one, and Kayla definitely wouldn't be happy with missing that layup, because that was a nice little play that they had set up there, and pick and roll action between Lindsay and George.
Here is Bishop. Can she make a count at the other end? She's been pretty good on the fadeaway tonight, but that one didn't come off. 21-point advantage for the Boomers. The starting five has been awesome, and Tess Madgen has played a magnificent role in that. 16 points for the Opal star. Game-high 24-point lead for the Melbourne Boomers.
And the thing is, they're not doing anything spectacular. They're running their offense, the same offense they've been running since Guy has been involved. Yep. It's a shuffle cut action, and I'm just surprised with the lackluster effort that we're seeing from Southside Flyers here at the moment, considering the calibre of players that they have on their roster.
Imagine forces another turnover. Flyers player hits the deck behind. Mitchell was looking for Allen. There's an offensive foul called against Tiffany Mitchell. She can't believe it.
Those two heavy hits here, as we see. There was no hit there from Tess Madgen. Jenna just seemed to lose her feet. And then a nice little contact between Maddie Rocci and Tiffany Mitchell. I'll just sit on the fence in this one and be Switzerland. Not bothered. How's the hair on that? Love it.
Great to see fans back at the basketball in the WNBL, particularly these two Melbourne teams playing a Melbourne derby in Melbourne. And a few players love that more than the Southside captain, Jenna O'Hay, who is heading to the charity strike. Taylor George called for the foul. You see Jenna O'Hay going to the free throw line. Still going strong. Spoke to Beck Cole during the week about Jenna O'Hay, and last week against Bendigo when the Spirit were really challenging the Flyers, and the Flyers needed to slow down. Beck said, we needed to slow down. There was Jenna at both ends of the floor controlling. So leadership is still invaluable, not only at WNBL level, but also at international level as well. As captain. Allen. Mitchell. Late to shoot. Allen unloads. Can't get that one to drop, and Abby Bishop wanted that basketball more than anyone else on the floor. O'Hay goes to work on George. Kicks it out for Gaze. And back it in off the glass, and Lindsay Allen's got a real pep in her step. The defensive glass there. And she just lost control there. It was almost a bit lackadaisical as she worked her way through it. I mentioned a couple of times, Scree, how sometimes she just doesn't quite look to herself at times, and then you watch her at other ends of the floor, and Lindsay Allen is full of energy.
Yeah, I think, you know, always coming back into a league can be a bit of a transition. We know that she struggled a little bit with a knee injury towards the back end of her last playing days with the Melbourne Boomers, but there's a lot to like about the Lindsay Allen game, and I'm a fan. I always have been, and I think she's going to be great in terms of what she's going to be able to offer the Melbourne Boomers this season, except right now when she's not getting open for the ball.
Tess Madgen's open. Finds a way through. The full court press there of the Flyers. It's a screen from Davidson. Goes herself. And she's having a terrific game, Tess Madgen.
Nice composure there from the veteran. You saw, you know, a bit of a full court pressing action or a full court man there from Southside Flyers trying to create, you know, a bit of defensive intensity. But Tess just finding a way to break down that pick and roll and get herself to the bucket.
Bishop very casually just banks it in off the glass, get the quick response. So Southside just hanging in there, but really need a couple of stops in a row here just to try and make some indents in this Boomers lead. 20-point differential still. Allen goes to work. Hoping for Davidson, losing control. That's good defense from the Flyers. Gaze kicks it out. O'Hay thought about the three, then pulls the trigger. Can't knock it down. You normally bank Jenna in that situation. A great desperation from Christy Wallace to win the ball back. Bishop works her way inside. The lane opened up for her, and she did all the hard work and couldn't get it to go. The Southside then called for the foul. There is Christy Wallace on screen, and you are an unabashed fan of Christy Wallace, Jenny Screen. It is wonderful to see her back out.
Yeah, I mean, she's come through the system. She was a Queensland junior, went to the COE, or the Centre of Excellence in Canberra, and then obviously went to University of Baylor and was able to make the Final Four there. Unfortunately, did her knee, her ACL, and then did it again, and has just been chasing her tail ever since. She was the the 2017 World Uni Games co-captain along with Darcy Garvin, and they won gold under Chris Lucas, and I was fortunate enough to be there, and she was a caliber player in Bangkok.
Southside forced a turnover. Here's Amy Rochi. Keeps putting the foot on the gas there, but great defence from George. Can't quite win it back. Gaze for three, yes. Important bucket for the Southside Flyers. And a nice timeout called here by Boomers coach Guy Malloy as his side's lead just is reduced to 17 points.
Well, that last surname, Gaze, is synonymous with her being the ability to shoot, and Kate Gaze has made a career out of doing that as that role player coming off the bench and being able to score.
So, Aussie Hoops, in particular, wonderful initiative as part of the Basketball Australia program. Aussie Hoops is basketball's national junior participation program, introducing kids aged 5 to 10 years old to basketball, learn and improve their fundamental movement skills as well as the basics of teamwork and cooperation. It benefits them both on and off the court, and most importantly, they have fun and make lots of friends. So to find where your kids can start a lifelong enjoyment of hoops, visit the Aussie Hoops locator, which can be found at aussiehoops.basketball/find-a-program. Registrations for Term 1 programs are now open. Boomers 69-52. Quarter this by Southside, 19 points to 17, so they've reduced the lead to 17 overall. So 1 minute away here from the third quarter ending. Here's Tiffany Mitchell, game high 22 points for her. Tess Madgen also with 18 for the Flyers, 16 for Rochi and 15 for Abby Bishop to go with 6 rebounds. Here's Izzy Wright for the Boomers in some minutes. George. Wright. Mitchell, wide open. Just off target. And now they sense an opportunity, the Flyers. Wallace waited, great composure from the youngster. Mitchell came through, Wallace got the 2, it's back to 15.
Oh, I held my breath on that one. Oh my goodness. But a much needed bucket for the Flyers.
George, Wright. A 16-second differential between game clock and shot clock. 4 to shoot here for Madgen, who's played a terrific third quarter, and she draws some contact, and we'll head to the free throw line.
Great job with the shot clock running down. Just being able to do a nice little Euro step over the face of Rochi there to draw the foul and send herself to the foul line. This is a pretty crucial, not 18 seconds, but the next couple of minutes, especially heading into the start of the fourth quarter, are going to be pretty big for the Boomers. You know, Southside Flyers are just getting a little bit of a sniff, and it doesn't take long for them to be able to get on a run. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out this next 3 minutes as we transition into the fourth quarter.
12th WNBL season, Tess Madgen, 6th with the Melbourne Boomers, and 2 very important free throws. 18 seconds left, no shot clock in this third quarter. Amy Rochi very good in this situation with the clock ticking down. So they make a number of clutch plays in the past. This time though, she draws the contact. Izzy Wright none too happy with the foul call. Chief Jason Kelly right on the spot there to call that on Izzy Wright, who's terrific to see her back in the WNBL's second straight season with the Boomers. Played 10 games with Logan, 27 games with Perth. Put her career in finance as a priority, but due to COVID, it actually helped her get an opportunity opened up to go to the hub last year with the Boomers, and she took it. she's back for a second straight season.
And she took it with both hands. She did exceptionally well. She was a great role player for the Boomers and has actually had really good minutes tonight. That's what I don't like seeing Christy Wallace do. You know, just got to pick and choose when there is an advantage and not, and that one wasn't.
That is the talent that she brings defensively. Imagine for Wright. He's going to put up the prayer here. Is he right? With 1 second to shoot. George didn't quite get it off in time, it looked like. Good comeback, good fight back from the Flyers. Just gives them a sniff as we turn for home at the Melbourne Sports Centre in Parkville. The Melbourne Boomers 71, the Southside Flyers 56. And we'll listen in and get the latest from the coaches in just a few moments.
We have walked this land for a long time. We know how far we've gone, and we're sure of how far we can go. Unity is not just a word here. It's not just a spirit in this sport. It's the way we all move. We are proud of our art, country, family, language, and culture. We are united by basketball.
Welcome to FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2022.
So good to have imports back in the WNBL because we get to see players of the calibre like Tiffany Mitchell absolutely dominate on Australian soil. But speaking of players dominating on Australian soil, Maddie Rocci has been just as good. These two have been the leading point scorers for their respective teams tonight. Mitchell has 22, Maddie Rocci has 16, and we're seeing the best athletes in the WNBL going head-to-head. Jenny Screen and these two guards have been awesome tonight.
They have indeed. They haven't matched up on each other respectively, but in terms of their own positional spot on the floor, they've been exceptional. Tiffany Mitchell is a highlight reel, an absolute machine, and Maddie Rocci is leading the way for a pretty lacklustre Southside Flyers this evening. But we've got a last quarter, 10 minutes, anything can happen, and with the calibre that Southside have, anything is possible.
Keeping a close eye on things courtside tonight is Megan Husway. Down to you, Megan.
Well, I was listening to Cheryl Chambers at three-quarter time. The Flyers feel like they're in with a bit of a sniff. There was certainly a bit of licence for Amy Rocci to do what she did during that third quarter. So we'll see what they can conjure. This derby might have a little bit more to play yet.
Thanks, Megan. Yes, certainly with Cheryl Chambers in charge, and Belinda Snell, a trusty sidekick as well. Let's see what they can come up with, the Southside Flyers. They've got a little bit to make up. Gaze tried to get them off to the perfect start, but that shot was off target, and Kayla George brings down the rebound as the fourth quarter gets underway from the Melbourne Sports Centre in Parkville. Great to have you with us on KO Sports, wherever you're watching around the country. Mitchell drives hard inside, great defence. Wallace and O'Hea working in tandem there to stop the import from going to work. O'Hea, Gaze, Wallace, Bishop, wasn't quite expecting it. Now Amy Rocci, given licence to go, tried to thread the needle, didn't come off. And now Lindsay Allen has Kate Gaze one-on-one, and Allen can't get it to go. Kate Gaze comes up with a big defensive play. Bishop, the Hail Mary for O'Hea. Gaze sets, shoots, can't get it down. Mitchell comes up with a long defensive rebound. Boomers need a couple of baskets in a row here just to settle the momentum of this game.
Yes, and 3 consecutive really quick shots from both teams with not much reward on either end, except for Davison.
A rare 3 from the Kiwi international. She will love that. Penina Davidson takes her tally to 7 points for the game.
She's been pretty solid, you know, blue-collar worker, as most New Zealanders are, just playing her role, playing it well, and hitting a 3, which we wouldn't be on the scout for her.
And then great defense forces a missed shot there from Abby Bishop. So some great bench minutes here from Penina Davidson. Coming off a really impressive campaign in the Asia Cup for the Kiwis. Leading point scorers, Penina Davidson. 5 to shoot here for Lindsay Allen. Again a mid-range attempt. Again it drops.
Oh.
And Amy Rocci gives away the foul, and Lindsay Allen will head to the line for an extra.
Look at the face. Look at the attitude.
Oh, yeah,
like,
scary.
you know, I ain't missing this. You know, you got me here, but boom. And that's the nice thing. That nice little right to left crossover, the ability to go vertically really quick. Use her athleticism. Not sure if that was a foul, but either way, the jump shot was beautiful, and she's rewarded herself by getting to the foul line. But I just love the sass of it. Like, yeah, I do this all day, girlfriend.
It didn't take a lot of convincing for Lindsay Allen to come back for another WNBL season. Missed last year due to COVID. So this is her third season in 4 as well. I think she loves the Melbourne lifestyle in particular, but she's just fallen in love with the Boomers culture, and she fits right into this roster superbly.
Yeah, she's really flourished under Guy, and she had a great season here when she was able to play. And you know, I saw her a lot at the gym, and she just really enjoyed the living and the girls and developing those friendships.
Maddie Rocci hitting the deck. Jenna O'Hay takes a seat. Such a wonderful contributor to Australian basketball for many years, and still got ample to give as well, the Southside Flyers captain, particularly in this game tonight. A team down by 19. Beck Cole finds a way in. The finger roll drops, a little floater from Beck Cole, who's back on the scoreboard. 10 points for her. A lot of court time for Beck Cole compared to she puts up. Tiffany Mitchell gets past Rocci, can't find the hole. Cole, Christy Wallace banks it in. Couple of buckets in a row now for the Flyers. Great to see Wallace really contributing here for the Flyers. Davidson up the floor, loses control, courtesy of Abby Bishop. 8 to shoot here for Kayla George. Oh, the lane open right up for her. She said, thanks, I'll take the lane.
And she wasn't dribbling the ball fast. It's not something that Kayla does that well, you know, with the ball in her hands. But no one was looking at her. Everyone was looking at their own players, and the well opened up, or the Red Sea parted, and she was able to get herself to the rack.
Wallace for 3. Christie knocks it down. Getting some great confidence-boosting minutes here, Christy Wallace, making a count on the scoreboard. Now she's guarding Tiffany Mitchell, and almost, yes, she does force a turnover. Big minutes here from Wallace.
And you almost feel like what was happening to Southside Flyers in that first quarter and the second, the stagnation, the lack of movement, and maybe it's fatigue. They haven't played deep into their bench, have the Boomers. They're just starting to get slow. The ball's moving slowly, the cuts are getting slow, but Southside Flyers are upping their physicality defensively, and now they're getting a little bit of a sniff.
And Maddie Rocci make a count on the scoreboard. There's 4 Boomers around her. Blitzers, Wallace for 3!
Go, girl.
Christy Wallace giving Flyers fans and Australian basketball fans a glimpse of her potential.
But the good thing there was, and where that transpired from, was Maddie Rocci getting deep into the paint, being able to come to stable 2-foot finish or 2-foot landing, and then be able to kick and then find the deep corner in Christy Wallace.
Christy Wallace taking her tally for the night up to 10 points, back in the double figures. Great stuff for Christy Wallace. Good crowd in at Parkville tonight as well. These fans weren't able to see any WNBL basketball last year, but we have a look at Christy Wallace, who's been getting it done offensively, but also a couple of big defensive plays, showing that while she is quick and got fast hands and getting to the lane, she's also got a strong jump shot as well.
Yeah, she's had 8 points for this quarter. You know, the ability to play 2 ways is critical, not only nationally in the WNBL, but internationally if she wants to put her hand up as potentially 2022 or 2024. But for me, the Boomers, this is where they've lacked in the last couple of years, is that ability to just shut teams out.
Yep.
And they always just seem to just lull into this, oh yeah, we've got it, and then all of a sudden, bang, the talent of a team like Southside just comes sniffing, and we're in within a 13-point ball game.
They don't bury teams.
No. It's like, oh, we want to be nice, so we'll just let you hang around rather than putting the foot on the throat like they should have, and they should be winning by 30 right now the way they've played, but now we've got a game on our hand, which is exciting for us, Ben.
Oh, very much so. Don't go anywhere on KO Sports. There's foul called off the ball there. And Sarah Blitzarves as Lindsay Allen hit the deck. There's a look.
Nothing like a little bit of Oscar theatrics there.
Yes, Jennifer. Blitzarves still yet to hit the scoreboard. Just hasn't been her night tonight. But still 6 minutes for her to make a hero of herself if the Southside Flyers can continue that momentum. But Lindsay Allen might have something to say about that.
Theatrics and Oscar talent, that is, right there on that layup, and the ability to slice the defense of the Southside. A much-needed bucket for the Boomers.
Kayla George knocks it away from Maddie Rocci. And a couple of big plays from the Boomers just gives them some breathing space almost halfway through this final quarter. Allen, Madgen, George in the corner for three. And Mitchell brings down the long rebound to give the Boomers another 14 seconds to assess their options. And you wouldn't want the ball in the hands of anyone else than Lindsay Allen. Inside for Magmegor, fading away, can't get it to go. Everything now needs to go right for the Southside Flyers. Bishop, Wallace, played a terrific quarter, just falling short on that occasion. Tiffany Mitchell there for the rebounds. Blitzarves couldn't quite knock it out of Magmegor's hands. Magmegor, no foul called. Magmegor gets the two to drop.
As his first 2 points of the second half. She's been pretty quiet, to be honest. She's only played the 21 or 22 minutes for the entirety of the game. Whether it's foul trouble, I don't think she's in foul trouble, or potentially, you know, just resting her a little bit more, but she's been pretty quiet tonight, but luckily some other girls have stepped up.
Oh, Rocci, that was in and out on that occasion. Magmegor keeps it alive, and Allen wraps it up into the breadbasket to bring the ball forward here. Mitchell kicks it out. Madgen wide open for three. And then Abby Bishop brings down a strong defensive rebound, which we called for the foul. Coming into this game, I would have sensed where the Boomers might have been able to get the Flyers, particularly in the front court with their bigs in Magmegor and George, but offensively it's been the guards, Madgen, Allen and Mitchell, who have really matched it with the star guards for the Southside Flyers.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there, but also you've got to remember their offensive structure is especially in the shuffle, is for that cutting action for the guards, for the ability to come off the staggers or the down screens and get that curl action where they've had it. But they've also just got the natural athletic talent in their imports in Mitchell and Allen that can just take anyone basically one-on-one and put some points on the board easy.
Lindsay Allen has been so important in this second half. Beautiful ball movement from the Boomers. George again curses herself as she misses the layup. And then a couple of times then gives away the foul just to rub some salt in the wounds of Kayla G.
It was a nice little give and go action. Sarah Blitzarves was playing up way too high, but seen a couple of those gimmies from Kayla tonight that she would be frustrated with, because she should be able to make those with her eyes closed, to be honest.
Fourth straight season with the Melbourne Boomers, 14th in the WNBL, and arguably in her best form ever. Cole, Bishop for three, must hit, can't hit. Mitchell made to earn that rebound. Whoa. Christy Wallace was coming the other way and says sorry about that.
Watch the shoulder connection here. Bishop misses the shot. Wallace comes through and didn't clean her up. She hit the ball, which then the ball ricocheted into...
Still not pleasant.
Mitchell. No, not at all.
I love the emotion that and the fun that Kayla George brings to the court, no matter what level she plays at. But gosh, we love the athleticism that Tiffany Mitchell has brought to the floor tonight. The star from South Carolina College, 6-year WNBA veteran with Indiana, regular starter the last 2 seasons in particular. Tiffany Mitchell, where she's averaged 12.5 points per game. What a privilege it is to have her in the WNBL season, and what a privilege it is to watch Lindsay Allen go to work. Another 2 for LA. As Cole works inside to Bishop, who goes outside to Blitzarves, and still can't hit. She's 0 of 7 tonight, Sarah Blitzarves. And now the Boomers well in control. hopefully we might be able to see a couple of players off the bench for the Boomers. Well, if Yvesi Magbegor scores, can't quite, she's heading to the free throw line. Be able to take these stars off, considering that how well they've played tonight. But Christy Wallace in the deck just beforehand, that was Magbegor's last bucket that she hit. But this is Magbegor at the free throw line, a 73% shooter. She mentioned during the week into the age that she is working really hard on adding that perimeter shot, that outside jump shot to her game. We saw her attempt the first three of the night. Gee, if she can get that going as well, she's going to be an ominous threat around the world.
We've seen it, you know, a little bit added to her game, even in the green and gold as well. But for me, it's the consistency. I think she has that capability. It's just the consistency, and that's what we don't have from Ezzy right now. That reliability. We know what we're going to get, kind of player in her, and let's hope she can develop that in this season of WNBL 2021-2022.
Bishop thought about the three. Cole does pull the trigger on the three. Just misses. Kayla Jordan rips it away from one of her good mates, Sarah Blitzarves. 7 of 15 tonight, the Melbourne Boomers. Far cry from their 1 of 19 against the Spirit a couple of nights ago. George for Allen. She really has controlled the tempo and momentum of this game. As George unloads, can't quite hit that three. As we tick into the final couple of minutes here in Parkville. Rochi for Bishop. Those two have been the main two scorers all night for the Flyers, but it's just not dropping for them late. They've left too little too late, the Southside Flyers. We got one final special play from Mitchell. It's a beautiful pass inside from Magbegor.
Nice little pocket pass and find there from Mitchell to her athletic teammate.
Maddie Rochi inside, banks it off the glass. She's had a terrific night individually, 18 points for Maddie Rochi to go with 3 assists. A double-double for Abby Bishop, 15 points, 11 rebounds for her. Final minute of the first Melbourne derby of 2021-22. These two teams will meet next week. Such as the nature of the WNBL fixture. They'll have a return fixture next week. So plenty of time for these two teams to reassess and have another crack at each other in 7 days' time as Cole hits the deck.
Ooh, a little
technical foul calls by the referee. Let's see how this one plays out. Always, you often do see unsportsmanlike and technical fouls at this stages of the game. It's been called on the Boomers, so Jenna O'Hea will head to the free throw line. As Tess Madgen takes a seat. 34 change remaining in the quarter. 12-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. The Southside Flyers prior to tonight had won 3 of their past 4 games against the Boomers, but Lindsay Allen and the Boomers will be walking away victorious tonight. You can't wipe the smile off Izzy Wright's face, and there's a smile from Lindsay Allen. Breaks the serious tone to give us a smile, and a well-deserved one is that from Lindsay Allen, who has 21 points for the night. She's not normally a massive point scorer as well, Lindsay Allen, a really consistent scorer. When she goes 20 plus, it is a pretty sight.
Referees, she made the bucket. I'm pretty sure it was just one shot.
Yep.
But, you know, in terms of contributions for the Boomers, 3 of their players have hit 20-plus points for the game. Really, really great performance, and way to turn it around considering Bendigo pretty much introduced them to themselves a couple of nights ago as Maddie Rochi, the shining light for a team that's been pretty much shown a little bit of a lesson, I think, and maybe a lesson that's needed in terms of where they're at got maybe potentially a false sense of security in round one, but you know, they'll bounce back. They've got the calibre, and but great job for Melbourne Boomers on their home court to get a win at their new venue.
Standing ovation for the Melbourne Boomers. The Flyers lose their first game in 10, and the Melbourne Boomers make a statement on their home floor. They take game one of the Michelle Timms Cup leg in 2021-22. Final score 91 Melbourne Boomers, Southside Flyers 72. And once again, the Southside Flyers, their last 3 losses in the WNBL, including last season, have been when they've scored 72 points.
There you go. What a stat and fine there, Mr. Ben Waterworth.
Great performance from the Boomers defensively. They were the best defensive team in the competition last year, and they humbled the best offensive team in the competition with a 91-72 victory. Guy Malloy be very satisfied with what his team's achieved tonight, Screen.
Considering the bounce back against Bendigo in round one, I think their mainstay as Tess Madgen stepped up tonight. George was stellar again. Didn't contribute in terms of points, but, you know, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and she did a great job on the defensive end as well and was a great leader across the board. I really loved her. And then we've got Allen and Mitchell. They're 2 imports, world class, and they were predominantly the main reason that you saw the Boomers come away with the win tonight.
You mentioned her just then. She was outstanding tonight, Lindsay Allen, and she's courtside alongside Megan Husway.
She sure is back in the WNBL like she never left. Welcome back to Australia and the league, Lindsay Allen.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Great to be back in Melbourne, and great to be back with my teammates and coached by Guy.
You picked up exactly where you left off last time you played for the Boomers. Did you guys come out and aim to make a statement tonight after the loss during the week?
Yeah, we did. We knew we didn't play anywhere near the level we could against the game in Bendigo, but credit to Bendigo. They played well. They scouted us well, and they got the job done. But I think we just want to come out, play at our pace, play with our energy, and make better shots.
You couldn't come and join us last year because of the border restrictions. Did you keep an eye on how the Boomers went in the hub?
Yeah, I definitely did. I was watching games on KO, I think it was, and just keeping up with them and rooting for them every single game.
Describe Tiffany Mitchell to me in a few words.
Tiffany is electric. She's high energy. She's quick. She's tough. She's skilled. I mean, just everything. Everything for us.
How nice is it to be on her team and not against her in the WNBA?
It's so great being on her team, and I think we know each other well. And Tiff knows how to speak to me, how to talk to me, and I think she's just a great teammate to have.
Well, it's a better league when you're part of it. Great to have you back in Melbourne, and we'll see you for leg 2 of Boomers and Flyers next Saturday.
Thanks, Megan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, LA.
Thanks very much to Megan and Lindsay Allen. She said it well there, Megan. The WNBL is better when Lindsay Allen is playing in it. There's your full-time match stats as well. And gosh, that 3-point percentage looks pretty nice compared to a couple of nights ago for the Melbourne Boomers. A healthy 44%. Jenny Screen. Elsewhere, there's not too much differential between the two sides in terms of rebounds and turnovers. And the Boomers committed far more fouls as well. But the starting 5 battle against the 2 starting 5s tonight, they were just too strong.
I think they just wanted it more. They were bouncing back for that game against Bendigo. They shot exceptionally well from the 3-point line, and the Flyers at times just couldn't find the bottom of the net. But credit to the Boomers, they really, from start of the game to the end, they really followed through and had probably one of their best performances that I've seen.
Well, one of the shining lights for the Southside Flyers in a losing cause tonight was Maddie Rocci, and she's courtside with Megan Husway.
Yeah, an incredible performance by Maddie Rocci for the Flyers tonight. A tough night at the office, though.
Yeah, definitely. We didn't start well at all. I think it definitely came down to our defense. We didn't get stops, and I think that's a learning curve for us for the next game. We play them Saturday night in a week, so I think we have to lock down defensively. We have the scoring power. That's not going to be an issue for us, but it's definitely the defensive end.
Can you take some positive signs out of the second half? I mean, you were able to lock down better on them indeed and get some good looks too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we came out of the change room not happy at all, so we needed to lock down on defense, and we got those stops. I think we got it back to 12 points in the end, but they had a great shooting night, so credit to them, and I think we definitely need to work on our defense.
Well, we saw you come up against a Opals Olympian and 2 import USA WNBA guards tonight. You've made the move to the Flyers. You're going to be part of some huge battles in the guard position this season.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of American imports coming into the league this year, but I mean, I love playing defense, and I think that's a challenge for me every game, so I look forward to it.
Now, we've got to talk about your dog because Leo joined you during the week. He's been away from you for a few months. Did you have a good game tonight because Leo's back with you? Were you prime?
I definitely think it was. I always say it's that pre-game cuddle that I get from Leo before I leave. But no, I mean, I always find myself happier when I'm with him. So I think that was definitely something that's...
Well, the rivalry continues on Saturday. You're back at home at Dandenong to take on the Boomers, and I'm sure you'll be pretty fired up to try and get one back on them.
Yeah, definitely. I think we need to come out firing from the start of the game. I mean, we're in front of our home fans, so hopefully that will push us over the line.
Thanks, Roch. We'll see you then.
No worries. Thank you.
She's a star of this competition, Maddie Rochi, and she played a big role for the Southside Flyers tonight. But amongst those, that starting five, just a few more contributors for the Melbourne Boomers, none better than Tiffany Mitchell, who played her first real standout game in the WNBL. But Tess Madgen as well, we can't forget, particularly during those second and third quarter, Screeny, how well she played. Then Lindsay Allen took over in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was a starting five win against the other starting five. So for me, the Boomers won out there from start to finish. And with the calibre of talent they have in those two imports, it's going to be incredible to watch. The thing for me is what happens if one of them goes down.
Yep.
They don't use their bench. They don't have depth, or they choose not to use their bench. They probably do have the depth, but that's going to be the interesting factor. But the lucky thing for the Southside Flyers is they get to amends potentially next weekend at home. And that's been the interesting thing between these two teams. Even in the preseason, one team would win by 20 and then next week the other team would win by 20. So who knows what's going to happen next week. But off the court, they're very much like this.
Very much so.
They're very good friends and stuff like that. But on court, when time comes to play, it's hard and it's tough and it's fun to watch.
Is it a good thing? It's not a good thing to lose, but if there is a positive here for the Flyers, is it good that it's happened early in the season as well to give them a bit of an early reality check?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you're going to lose, losing at the start of the season is paramount, just to give you that reality check, that you don't lull yourself into a false sense of security of, oh yeah, we're okay, we're good, because they got shown up tonight really poorly in terms of their defense, their ability to rotate, and even offensively. They couldn't get it going on the offensive end. It was very much one-on-one and lacked ball movement and those type of things. But also the Boomers, they did really well defensively, so you can't take anything away from them.
Great win by the Melbourne Boomers tonight, 91-72. So that actually concludes round two of the WNBL season. There was supposed to be a game tomorrow between the UC Capitals and the Sydney Uni Flames. That game has been postponed for the time being. There was a COVID case amongst the Capitals fraternity. Since then, both the Caps and the Flames have been tested, and all tests have come back negative so far. So that game will be played at a later date in the WNBL season, which means we now look forward to round three, Jenny Screen, and we talked about the Flyers and the Boomers. They're meeting in almost exactly a week time. That'll be at 5 p.m. back at Dandenong Stadium, but it's a really exciting weekend of basketball. The Boomers have the tough one though. They've got to double up. They've got to play on the Saturday, and then just over 24 hours later, got to play the Spirit at Bendigo Stadium.
Yeah, they do, and considering they're going to go deep into their bench, they may want to ensure that they're fit and recovered and ready to go. I love the Fire today. I thought they were exceptional. Lauren Nicholson led from the front with her team, and they're going to be interesting to watch this season, and I think they'll be back in the top four as well. And then I'm excited about the West. We're not going to see Perth for a while yet, but I'm excited by their team, what they have, and their ability to put it all together with Brad Robbins is going to be the interesting thing for me. So I'm really intrigued to see what the Perth Lynx can do.
Yeah, we can't wait to see the Lynx go at it, no doubt about that. Are they, if you had a championship favourite heading into the season, would the Perth Lynx be amongst your championship favourites?
I don't know. I think they're top four. Yep. I haven't seen enough of them yet to know, but I'm calling my MVP right now, and that's Tiffany Mitchell. I think she is my standout favourite. I know it's early days, but what she brings to this league is really exciting to see, and I only think she's going to go from strength to strength.
Well, Tiffany Mitchell got the big tick of approval tonight from Jenny Screen. That is a big tick of approval, to say the least, as well. It was a big performance from the Melbourne Boomers. They ran out 91-72 point winners over the Southside Flyers. Jenny Screen, great working with you again.
As always, Ben, love it.
And thanks for your company on KO Sports. On behalf of Megan Huswaite, Jenny Screen, and the entire hard-working crew, this is Ben Waterworth signing off from Parkville, where the Boomers were victorious, 91-72.